From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Less Levine, it's a Thursday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Less Levine into our 24th consecutive year, and as always, brought to you exclusively on cleveland.com. Thursday night, that means the D-man, Dennis Manoloff, is here, WTAM Radio 1100. Can I say it the way you're taught to say it? Is it
WTAM,
yeah.
WTAM E1100.
E1100.
Yes, E. Emphasis on E.
I got it. Okay, the D-man is here coming fresh off a week of predicting in cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer. 10-5, D-man. Let's not mention what happened the previous weeks, but 10-5 is something you'll take any time.
Yeah, it felt good to be above water for once. It's been a rough season to say the least, but as you know, you never brag about stuff like that because
it comes back to bite you.
Yeah, the hammer is coming right around the corner, but I enjoyed it for a few hours. Yes.
Back in the old days when somebody had advanced information, what was that? They knew it was going to rain that day. They knew a guy got hurt. But what does that mean into the point spread?
Well, I mean,
what is losing one lineman, for example? Is that a full point? Is that a half a point?
It really depends on the player. Rarely does a lineman alter a line, but certainly a quarterback. The quarterback status will change. I want to say this. This is a little bit of a braggadocio. I had in the paper 30-10 Patriots over the Browns. If not for Mike Nugent, I very well could have gone. It had a final score of 30-10.
Well, unfortunately for Mike Nugent, he's no longer with the Patriots.
Well, you can understand why. He misses the 2 field goals.
When you saw that second one miss, you just said he's getting on a plane.
Yeah, and that's the one. If he makes it 30-10 at that point, then Kitchens does not kick the field goal to get it to 2 possessions. Right. So if Nugent makes that field goal, my final score is on the money, I believe, but it didn't happen.
I want to talk about Freddie Kitchens and yes. Some decisions that he made or happened on his behalf. He's not getting any love anywhere. Warranted or unwarranted?
No, and you know what? He's creating this situation for himself with head scratchers every week. One of the ones I'm sure you're referring to from the Patriots game was the fourth quarter, 4th and 11, punt team out, false start, 4th and 16. Baker comes out, needed to take the penalty because I didn't want to burn a timeout. It just looks and feels chaotic, like Kitchens doesn't have a handle on what's happening around him. I stick to my original premise, Les, from the beginning of the year. Well, from the first couple of games. He's overwhelmed, and it hasn't changed. He still has too much on his plate, and I don't know if that's going to get better.
No, John Dorsey should have taken that into consideration. He had to know something like that was going to happen. Even if he's promoting him to the head coaching position, he's got to know that it's tough. He's seeing things that he's never seen before. I don't care how many years he's been in coaching. And I'll tell you the one that gets me, D-Man, that is, how many times can the head coach say, "That's on me," or "I own up to it"? I've been saying it all along. You start saying it's on me, it's going to be on you. And somebody's going to have to pay the price, and I think we know who that is.
Yeah, and pretty soon the players will begin to say, you know what, if it's always on you, why should I respect you? Or more to the point, why should I care as much? Because Kitchens may be taking the flack when it's a player's fault. The player will be like, "Oh, okay, I'm not getting blamed for this.
Right.
I'm good. I'll continue to skate."
Up to anybody.
I mean, what about this, Les? End of the third quarter at the Patriots. The Browns send out the third quarter with a false start and usher in the fourth quarter with a false start before any snaps were made.
It's unbelievable. And what also is unbelievable, have they verified it's never happened before, 3 turnovers on 3 consecutive plays?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, and it was crazy, especially when the first one was caused by your own offensive lineman getting flipped by their defensive player and his foot kicking the ball out of your running back's hands.
Well, I'll tell you, as long as we're in that portion of the game, and by the way, this portion of More Sports and Less Levine brought to you by the Ohio Lottery, the one that just baffled me is you're in a torrential rainstorm, which, by the way, you didn't get a feel for that if you watched it on TV. When they showed the stands and the fans up there, you could see how bad it was, but when you're watching the game, it didn't look that bad. To call a shovel pass in those conditions is about the stupidest thing you can do, right?
Well,
or am I missing something?
How about your defense holds Belichick and Brady to 1 first down on the opening possession? You get the ball back, and instead of handing the ball off in bad weather to Nick Chubb, you throw 3 times. Now, the cynic would say, well, why would you give it to Chubb? He fumbled twice. Stop. You want to start the game with Chubb in that weather.
Get
you
yourself
don't
a couple
start
of first
the game
downs
with your first possession 3 times throwing. But you know what that was? That was Kitchens saying, I'm going to show Belichick a thing or two. He thinks I'm going to run the ball, so I'm going to throw the ball.
I think there's something to that. Let's get back to that in a moment. What about, were you surprised nothing happened on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, the trade deadline, and the Browns and almost everybody else came up empty?
Yes and no. I know Trent Williams was a guy that the Browns were so supposedly interested in. Dorsey was hot after him. Williams doesn't get moved, thankfully, because it sounded like the Redskins were asking for a boatload, and we got the report yesterday that Williams failed his physical. No surprise given how long he'd been out, but I'm really not surprised that no other moves were made, because that was really the only one that made any sense if you were going to do it.
Yeah, you think about it. The Browns 3 games behind Baltimore as we head into the weekend, and you wonder how good would Williams be, or how much impact would he have? He's certainly not going to have 3 games worth.
Correct. And that's exactly right, Les. I mean, right now the Ravens are sitting in a good spot. I mean, I know they have the Patriots coming up this week, but they have the Patriots in their house. And honestly, I think the Ravens are more than capable of winning that game. As much respect as I have for Belichick, Brady, and the Patriots, when I watch this team, this particular Patriots team, I don't see 16-0. I see a dominant defense, but I see an offense that's still trying to find itself.
Yeah, they're halfway there, though.
And, well, that's true. But if you're going to lose a game, at Baltimore is a place you would think it could happen, especially because Ravens teams historically have not been afraid of Belichick. John Harbaugh does not tremble in the face of Belichick.
I'll tell you one more thing about Belichick. In that game on Sunday where he gets win number 300, unbelievable, in with George Halas and Don Shula on that, he basically didn't have to do anything except watch the game. He was handed touchdowns. He gets the breakaway on the fumble recovery. He gets another interception, I think, or he got the ball inside the 10 on another possession. He almost had nothing to do in that game.
Well, yeah, and he's a tactician where he's saying, okay, if I'm given a lead, or if I get a lead of this amount, I'm going to do this.
Because he also knows Cleveland can't score X amount of points.
Yeah, that's what he's calculating, too. I think he was upset by the end of the game. He didn't like some of the sloppy play, certainly the Nugent missed field goals, but he's probably thinking, I should have won this game by more than 27-13. And to me, it's comical, too, when people say, Browns apologists, well, if we just wouldn't have turned the ball over, it would have been a different game. Excuse me. Belichick was going to win the game regardless. He was going to figure out a way to beat you even if you didn't turn the ball over, okay? Sorry. Not the way the Browns were coming in there and the way they had been playing. He was going to win it. It was just a matter of what was going to be the score.
What brings to mind is this. In the Super Bowl last year against Los Angeles, he knew in the first quarter there's no way Los Angeles can beat him. So he just played it very close to the belt, didn't have to do anything, let the game play itself out, and it worked exactly as he had figured.
Exactly. My belief is that Brady, I believe, was banged up at that point. I think he had a thumb issue. And Belichick and Brady's probably said, look, until and unless we have to pass, we're not going to pass. And guess what? The game situation never presented itself where Brady had to sling the ball around. So they just ran it and let the Rams sputter, and they wound up winning the Super Bowl.
I'll go one step further. You've been doing a great job on 1100 WTAM. I'm on Fridays. I'm on 92.3 The Fan. You and I probably have had the same phone call. As you match up the Browns against the Patriots, and somebody will say, well, their wide receivers aren't that good. All they have is Julian Edelman. All you have in Julian Edelman is maybe a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's a Pro Bowl, a Super Bowl veteran,
Super Bowl
MVP.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't care if you look at his numbers. Maybe it's not very impressive, but all he does is win.
Correct, and I grant you that they have talent, but the beauty of the Belichick dynasty is plug and play. He, other than Brady,
right?
He doesn't care what your name is, other than Brady. In fact,
Josh Gordon, you're out of here.
Some would say he even wanted Garoppolo in for Brady. So maybe that isn't true. Maybe it isn't even true that Brady's the only sacrosanct guy, but I think it is. I think Belichick realizes his success is tied to Brady. But the point is, everybody else, if you screw up, you mess up, you're out. Next guy in. He doesn't care. If you're hurt, next guy up. It's the systems that win in New England with the help, of course, of Tom Brady.
Well, here's the stat of the month. Did you know there's over $6.25 million paid out on the Ohio Lottery Pick 6 game each and every week? With that amount of winning, stop by your local retailers, try your luck with the Pick 3, Pick 4, and Pick 5 games from the Ohio Lottery. Well, you can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/More Sports and Less Levine with new content posted each and every day. We'll take a look at some of your responses a little bit later. When we come back, we'll hear what Freddie Kitchens has to say on Baker Mayfield, who made plenty of news yesterday. Tony Grossi involved in that. I don't think they should duke it out, but it's still interesting what happened in Berea yesterday. We'll come on back in a moment. More Sports and Less Levine, seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
I think he's continuing to try to get better. He's, of course, each week presents a different set of problems. We have to identify those problems and attack those problems. And Baker works his tail off during the course of the week, and he's prepared on Sundays. And we just got to continue to try to get better.
You talked after the game about guys being accountable and him first and foremost and making sure guys are doing the right thing. Have you seen him take more of a role in that and trying to get other guys to hold themselves accountable?
I think Baker has. I think we have several guys that have. This is a group effort, and everybody has to understand that it's a group effort. And I'm talking about everybody in our locker room have to understand that we're all accountable to the things that have been happening. But again, this is a new day. We're trying to get better from that area, and I feel confident that we will.
Last year he had such a good second half of the season. Do you see any signs that could be around the corner, or is that kind of a mystery still to you?
Again, I want Baker to continue to do what he's doing from the standpoint of getting better, and it's all about winning games. So, I don't get into stats and all that kind of stuff. I just want to win games, and I think Baker feels the same way.
Well, there you go. And now we take a look at the first 7 games for Baker Mayfield. And we compare it to last year's 7 games, and there you have it, 2018 on the left, 2019 this year. And the big thing, D-Man, that stands out is the interceptions versus the touchdowns. That's not a good number.
Yeah, that's a great graphic by Brian, and really the key is that TD to INT. I mean, he was really, and a lot of that's reflected in the red zone. He was a red zone maestro last year, and this year the red zone has been a real problem, and it's resulted in some picks and some turnovers.
Why do you suppose that is?
Well, part of it is defenses have figured out a little bit how to play him close to the goal line. Part of it is miscoms with receivers. Part of it is inaccuracy. I mean, I don't want to blame the receivers all the time. Again, going back to that 49ers game, the throw to Callaway. Yeah, Callaway, you don't want him to be popping the ball up accidentally and having it picked at the goal line. But that throw's got to be out in front of Callaway. I'm not excusing the drop.
Pros
I'm just
still
saying,
have to catch that.
What's that?
Pros still have to catch that.
Yes,
ball.
but it needs to be here, not here. And that's the problem. One of the problems that Mayfield's had this season is his accuracy, which was his hallmark going into his professional career, and certainly showed itself last year. Just hasn't been there on a regular basis this year.
Seven games in the books, and I think most of us wouldn't rank him higher than 25 in the league right now. Is that about right?
Yeah, he's statistically, both base stats and sabermetric stats, he's bottom 7 in the league.
Okay, so is it too late to turn it around for this year? Or you look at the standings, and you look at the schedule. Is it doable?
Is what doable?
Shedding what's happened in the first 7 games and getting closer to last year.
Yeah, the reason I said is what doable less, because playoffs, it's going to be hard, because I think in order to get into the playoffs, you've got to win 9 games to even have a shot.
Or beat out Baltimore somehow.
Yeah,
all you're doing is playing to tie Baltimore. If you include a second win against them.
True. You're asking me to look at a 2-5 team and think they're going to sweep the Ravens. I'm not so sure about that. Now, maybe the Browns would be totally confident they would, but the Ravens being up 3 games, let me just say this. If Baltimore beats the Patriots on Sunday,
it's over.
In my opinion, they put the division to bed.
I agree with that.
Regardless of whether the Browns beat the Broncos to go to 3-5.
No, because
if you're the Patriots and you've gone to 6-2 and you just beat Belichick, you're going to win the division.
Yeah, and if Baltimore loses on that one, Cleveland, in a sense, is only a game behind Baltimore. If they gain a game on Baltimore, they're only 1 behind them because they have the advantage because they won in the head-to-head.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean,
that's the way you got to think.
Here's the way it is with me less than the Browns. They're 2-5. They don't look good. They've made a lot of mistakes, mental, physical, preparation. The coach looks disheveled and tired. The quarterback is somewhere mentally. And right now, I don't have faith at all in the Browns. Maybe in a couple of weeks, okay, but right now I don't have faith.
Let me be a little more optimistic. The hard part of the schedule is over. They didn't perform very well at 2-5. But you look at what they have coming down. You got 2 games against Pittsburgh. You got 1 against Baltimore. Then you have Buffalo and Miami and who else?
Well, you're at Arizona.
Which
not might not be easy.
No?
Here's the problem, Les. When we looked at this in the preseason, when we looked in the summer at this schedule, we identified games such as at Denver. Oh, that's a win. Maybe not, because Denver's got a pretty good defense.
Yeah, if you can't beat a team that's playing a quarterback for his first snap in the NFL.
That's true. I'm saying the Browns have to win the game, but I'm saying it's not going to be easy as we thought it would be. Then the Bills. That was supposed to be an automatic win. Well, you know what? The Bills are respectable at 5-2.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, we thought that was going to be an easy win. Well, maybe by the time the Browns see Kingsbury and Murray, they're going to be that much better than they were at the beginning of the year. And, oh, by the way, the Arizona Cardinals have a better record than the Cleveland Browns right now.
Yeah.
Just based on record. Not looking at strength of schedule, but based on record, the Cardinals are better than the Browns at this point.
The D-man, Dennis Manoloff, with us, 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Baker Mayfield, little thin-skinned yesterday out at Berea? What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's part of it's the long-standing feud that he does have, at least publicly, with Tony Grossi. Sometimes
do you know what that's about?
Playful banter with them. Well, what was it? Grossi said he
didn't want to draft him.
He compared Mayfield to Manziel at one point and didn't think they should have drafted him. And okay, fine,
right.
but
drop it.
Yeah, but there have been times where I've seen these two guys talking to each other during a presser, and they seem to needle, or at least Mayfield would needle Grossi.
So Tony's his foil sometimes?
Yeah, it seemed that way.
Yeah.
But then yesterday it got a little bit, more hostile, if you will, because Mayfield did walk off.
Right. All right. This is Les Levine from Northeast Factory Direct. You've been hearing me talk about them for several months right now. 3 great locations, east, west, and of course to the south. West 140th Street, Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, and now the new one in Macedonia on Freeway Drive. And of course, before you go anywhere, go to northeastfactorydirect.com. They've got 50 sofas at around $399, solid wood bunk sets for $299. How about hot tubs? After shopping at Northeast Factory Direct, you can settle back in one of your own 6-person hot tub. Comes fully loaded, stainless steel jets, LED lighting, and a waterfall, just $3,800. The same hot tub sells elsewhere all over the country at about $7,000. No gimmicks, no deceiving blowout sales, just 3 huge bare-bone warehouses filled with some of the same stuff you're going to find at the big box stores, except you're going to pay more than 50% off on most of those items at Northeast Factory Direct. Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. Catch the excitement of harness racing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. with the post time. Saturday and Sunday at 6:40, open early every day for simulcast action from all over the world. Don't forget the weekly Sunday contest featuring Belmont. Top prize $500 each week from Northfield Park, where it's free admission, free parking every day. We'll come back in a moment. We'll see if the Browns are doing anything about their lingering offensive line issues. We'll do that and more with the D-Man, Dennis Manoloff, exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Oh, gosh. Playing Ohio Lottery Pick 3, I see. What are you going to do? A box bed, a split pairs, or a wheel? Well, old Picky Ricky here is a straight shooter.
Okay.
It razzes my berries when newbies think betting's hard. Straight bets are easy peasy. Just match 3 numbers in order and win the old-fashioned way. This, on the other hand, is not so simple. Oh, God. Oh, jeez Louise. Ow! Play the Ohio Lottery Pick 3 today.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
It's part of the game, though. I mean, we've been blessed as an O-line the last couple of years to be relatively healthy, and so O-line a lot of times are rotating guys with injuries and being banged up, so you're used to getting reps with different guys. In practice, it's not that ones get every single rep together. J-Mac had been getting reps at left tackle all year, just because in case of emergency, and White had been in there too. And it's one of the things, the more you play together, the better you're going to get. But I don't think there was a continuity thing where we're like, man, we haven't worked enough together on this block we got to figure that out. I thought we were prepared enough to go out there and play.
Joe, it's easy to talk about guys needing to be more accountable and committed. Are you seeing it? Are you feeling it?
Yeah, I feel like there's a focus around here. There's an urgency, that we got to make something happen. And it's one of those things where, everybody here, we're grown men, we're this, we're that, but there's something to be said in meetings if you're taking the right notes, if you're prepared, because everybody goes out there and plays hard. It's not a thing is like, are we playing hard enough? Are we going hard enough? Are we doing the right things on the field? But it's how you prepare through the week, and are guys taking the right notes? Are guys focused in meetings? Are guys reviewing the practice enough? Are they watching enough film on their own? And those are the things that we've continued to have to uptick to make sure we're ready to go, because, you never know what you're going to get in a game. You don't know what surprise, what they're going to bring. And but I have seen improvement, and I think guys are buying in. I think there's an urgency here, and eventually we got to start winning some games. That's the goal of this team. We got to win this week and go 1-0.
There you go, Joel Bitonio.
Eventually, you do have to start winning games.
I would think, instead of having the coach say it's on me, it's on me, it's on me. Bitonio, you don't know who the linemen are until they do something wrong, and unfortunately, his leg got in the way of that ball, which turned into be a fumble by Nick Chubb, and that was quite unfortunate and set the wheels spinning.
Yeah, and didn't he have a hold less on a big screen
Yeah, I think
play
so.
that could have helped? And also, I believe he missed the block on Guy when Guy burst in and picked off the pop pass, the underhand pop pass. So it was not a good day for Joel Bitonio.
However, Justin Mccrae got his first start with the Browns, and I thought he did pretty well. Let's take a look at the stats on this one. 1 sack was allowed. He had 4 quarterback pressures allowed and 1 false start. Not bad for the first outing of the season. You'd like better, right?
I mean, I don't think his PFF grading for one was very good, but they got issues on the line. But listen, the line, to me, the offensive line didn't lose the game on Sunday against the Patriots. The offensive line was good enough, wasn't great, but good enough to win.
Imagine if John Dorsey gave up a first-rounder or a second-rounder for Trent Williams, and he comes here and fails the physical as he did in Washington. Imagine that.
Yeah, well, obviously the trade gets reneged at that point, but you heard rumors that the Redskins were wanting players,
right,
such as Denzel Ward.
Yeah, they were bargaining in the papers.
Come on now. I mean, who knows what kind of operation Daniel Snyder's running. Fortunate for the Browns, Daniel Snyder is owning the Redskins, so that the bar is lower in Washington than it is here. But right now, I mean, listen, the Browns, you have zero. Well, I shouldn't put up one. 0 excuses Sunday.
None.
I mean, Brandon Allen is starting for the Broncos.
Yeah. We'll look at his stats. There are no stats to really look at. Rob Ryan was quite critical about everybody the other day.
He's been teeing off on the Browns this
teeing
year.
off on the Browns. He's not. If there's an opening in head coaching job, if Dorsey's still here to make that decision, it won't be. It won't be him, will it?
I can't imagine Rob Ryan ever coaching Baker Mayfield.
No, but that being said, he also stated that when Dorsey was in Kansas City, he made some, everybody wondered what went wrong, and we assume it was a problem with Andy Reid. But according to the stories we've been hearing the last few days, there was a lot of criticism about Dorsey for taking questionable character issue players, which he's done here. Sure.
And one of those character issue guys is coming back soon.
Yeah, next week.
Kareem Hunt. But, we'll see. We'll see how Hunt integrates into this operation. He can only help the way I see it.
All right. So Mccrae had his first start. Now the question is, what else can they do to attempt to bring this offensive line around? You're not going to get any other players.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the offensive line would stand to be helped. This is football 101 by the quick game. The quicker you get the ball out of your hands, logically, the less time that the line has to block. So I think that if they can start throwing the short to intermediate stuff to help out the line, it wouldn't hurt.
That being said, getting back to Mayfield, do you think he's relying too much on trying to find his pet wide receivers?
Yes, this has been a theme throughout this show during the season, Les. Number one, I do believe, based on what I've seen for 7 games, that the offensive philosophy of Todd Monken has not meshed with the offensive philosophy of Freddie Kitchens. As a result, you're seeing more of a mishmash type of an offense as opposed to something where both men are on the exact same page and have the same philosophies about how to attack. Another part of it is you have 2 rather type A personality wide receivers in Beckham and Landry, and I've always said there's a danger when receivers dictate the offense.
Right, they should be the last on the food chain.
You cannot allow receivers to dictate the offense. Now, Beckham and Landry will say, oh, we're not doing that. Yeah, they kind of are. And Baker cannot afford to be saying, I have to throw to Beckham or else. I have to throw to Landry or else. It needs to be part of the game plan.
Explore your interests. Find a program that puts you on the path to a bright future from Tri-C, which offers more than 1,000 courses and over 140 career and technical programs. Check it out. Go to tri-c.edu to find out more information. When we get back, the D-Man spoke about Brandon Allen, who will start his first game and take his first snap in an NFL game for Denver on Sunday afternoon. We'll check that out when we get back. More sports and Les Levine, seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
Well, we have to go off what we see off tape from the preseason and understand the, young quarterbacks, the last 42 starts. In the last 5 years, 42 guys have made their first starts in the NFL. And you would like to think that stats aren't very favorable for them when they start. Well, we have to understand that out of the last 42 starts, those guys are 16, 25, and 1. Which is a lot better than you would just assume. He's going to do a good job preparing. Those guys do a good job coaching those guys where they're prepared to play the game. And the stats of those quarterbacks, 60% completion percentage, 200 yards passing. So we've got to prepare for him just like he's a starter. He is officially now an NFL starter. So we've had experience with that before, and guys have been successful against us, and we've got to prepare accordingly.
You mentioned the preseason film. Do you even go back and look at college tape or something too?
We evaluated him when he came out of college. Of course, you use every avenue you can to evaluate him.
All right, Brandon Allen, he's starting in place of Flacco coming up the rest of the season. 6th-round pick by Jacksonville in 2016, the third-string quarterback for Jacksonville and the Rams. And he spent last season on the practice squad of the Rams, 57% completions, at Arkansas. D-Man, I wish I had one of those things that a monitor or something, a plug, something that I could stop the tape and talk to Freddie Kitchens. He said 42 starts by new first-string quarterbacks. You wouldn't believe how good they are, 16, 25, and 1. Let me tell you something. If I never saw that stat, if you told me that there were 42 games started by these guys, how many do you think they'd won? I'd say, I don't know, about 15 or 16. I wouldn't be surprised by it. And 200 yards passing, if you stop him from throwing 200 yards, you should win the game.
Listen, it's easy to tee off on Mr. Kitchens and I misidentified him, Rex Ryan has done, not Rob.
Rob was the one who coached
Rob was
here.
with us, the Browns, and the Saints and all that. Rex is the guy who's having fun at the Browns' expense. But it's easy to get after Kitchens, but in this case, to me, you don't even worry about the stat. You just say to your team,
go get him.
Just because he's a first-time QB doesn't mean that we can take it easy or be lax in our preparation. You don't need to have stats to back it up.
That's exactly right. I said the other day, by the way, talking about Rex and Rob Ryan, I want Rob Ryan to come here as a coach because when he was here 10, 12, 15 years ago, I was at a press conference and I started to ask the question. He says, hold on, Les. He'd never met me before. He says, I love your show. Can I be a guest on it? Wow. So you want that guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be right.
But
I remember his flowing silver locks. They were so funny.
All right, so you got Brandon Allen, whose name will go down in infamy.
Right, Les, but here's the thing. Flacco, a veteran, he's got a Super Bowl ring and respected, but maybe, just maybe, some of these Broncos players are saying Flacco and his lack of mobility and some of his misses have held us back a little bit. So just because you transition from the veteran who's got a resume to a guy who's never played, that doesn't automatically mean that the players are going to hang their heads. They might say, well, you know what? This Allen kid has got a little more pep in his step than Joe Flacco does.
Flacco has the big arm. Maybe this kid can throw underneath and make some things happen.
They give him but listen, there's no excuse for Steve Wilks, though. Steve Wilks, D coordinator of the Browns, has to dial it up to the point where it becomes extremely difficult for Allen. But here's the other thing, too. My sense is they're not going to ask Allen to win the game for him. They're going to ask their defense
they have a
to
good
win
running game.
And their running game with Lindsey. So, we'll see. But the Browns absolutely, positively cannot turn the ball over. If they don't turn it over, I'm virtually guaranteeing a win.
Yeah, a 2-5 team, it's hard to guarantee a win, but you'd almost have to in this case. And if not, can't even begin to think what'll happen in Berea.
Right, and let's see. If Jarvis Landry says we're going to win, then he comes back and says we're going there to win. Let's just make sure that Denver doesn't see that, so there's no misperception of a guarantee.
How about the last injured list we saw included OBJ? You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday you see Beckham on the injured list with a groin, or because of a groin, and his practice is limited. Now, I'll admit, I haven't been paying attention to the injury reports over the course of the year as much as I should, and a buddy of mine said to me that Beckham has been on it a lot, and he's been limited a lot. Well, here's the thing, though. It's one thing to have been on the injury report as limited up until the Patriots game. But when the reports come out of Foxborough that OBJ was kicking field goals in practice before the game, and then you see him listed as limited because of a groin, or even if you saw him as listed as limited because of a groin or a hip, and then he goes out there and kicks field goals, really? Why in the world would you do that?
Some coach has to have seen that, right?
Well, I got a buddy of mine who is a reporter said, in fact, we can say it his name, Hayden Grove. Hayden Grove saw it and said that he was doing it. Now, it's not the first time he's done it, okay? You look up the YouTube and you see when he was with the Giants, he's kicking them. But my whole point is, if you've been limited during the year because of a groin or a hip, remember he told us before the season,
a mysterious one.
Yeah, even though it doesn't look like it. Why in the world would you be horsing around kicking field goals in week 8. What is that?
Makes no sense, especially when your field goal kicker's been doing very well. In fact, the best unit of this team so far has been the special teams, field goal and punting.
Les, think about what we were saying before the season.
That was the only one we were worried about.
In an uproar. Oh, the rookie punter, the rookie kicker, the rookie punter, the rookie kicker. Thank goodness they held on to the Scottish Hammer, and Austin the kicker is just drilling them left and right. Belichick would like Austin the kicker.
Northeast Factory Direct has an extensive selection of high-quality semi-custom kitchen cabinets. You can save 60 to 70% compared to the big box stores, and theirs is a better quality cabinet. 100% solid wood cabinets, no particle board or MDF filter board, full extension drawer glides, as well as overlay doors and soft close drawers, and a choice list of flat or raised panel doors. It's all from Northeast Factory Direct. East, west, and south, West 140th in Cleveland, the old B&B Appliance Store in Lakeland Boulevard and Freeway Drive in Macedonia, or check out everything before you go at northeastfactorydirect.com. Sokolowski's University, and if you can find a better place to go for lunch in the downtown area, this is in Tremont actually, 5 minutes out of downtown, plenty of free parking. I'd like to know about it if you can find a better place to go. And people ask me, who goes there? You name it, 10-year-olds, 90 years old, they go there.
Athletes, celebrities.
Absolutely. I talked to a Major League umpire having lunch there one day. And of course, Sokolowski's University Inn began in 1923. It's Cleveland's oldest family-owned and operated business, a restaurant rather, Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. So who is going to win the AFC North? You'd certainly think the Baltimore Ravens in pretty good shape on that. When we get back, we'll take a look at that and more. More sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
I had an epoxy-based sand paint on my floor that deteriorated, and that's why I called Nature Stone.
Why paint? It's expensive, it's ugly, and it doesn't last. Nature Stone is always affordable. It's beautiful, and with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
So, D-Man, Dennis Manoloff here with WTAM Radio. When your next gig starting, Friday night?
Yeah, Friday night after the Cavs.
After the Cavs, that's on 1100. I'll be on 92.3 The Fan. I'll be on there Friday morning and afternoon from 10 until 2 in with Andy Baskin in for Jeff Phelps. We talked earlier about the Browns and can they overtake Baltimore? It doesn't look like it, especially if they beat Belichick's team this week. But let's take a look at the remaining schedule for the three top teams in the AFC North. That, of course, would be the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers. So there you have it. The Ravens in the middle have the tougher of the three lists, D-Man, because they've got, you can just see it. They played the teams the Browns have played already in the Rams, the 49ers, and, of course, they still have one game with the Steelers and one with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. The Ravens are looking at even if they
they got the Patriots.
Even if they were to stumble against the Patriots, fall to 5-3, they're going to beat the Bengals. The home game against the Texans, they feel like they got a puncher's chance. Yeah, I mean, it isn't easy for the Ravens at all, and it seems to be easier for the Browns. But as you said, Les, 2-5 teams, they can't declare anything easy because the other teams on the schedule are looking at the 2-5 Browns coming, going, "That's a win."
Yeah.
So the Browns really don't have any leverage.
I have a friend who says, if you get a 2-4 or 2-5 team, and they say, "Yeah, but if we made this play or we made that play, we'd be fine." The point is, 2-4 teams and 2-5 teams don't make those plays. That's why they're 2-4 and 2-5.
That's exactly right, Les. What I kept thinking as the game unfolded Sunday, and it played out the way I thought it would. Losing teams do what losing teams do. Yeah. They lose. Winning teams do what winning teams do. They win.
Yeah, so if you say, if the guy didn't drop the pass.
You need to do to win.
Yeah.
Okay? And the Browns don't do that. We thought they had broken through as far as learning how to win last year. But we're back to the same sloppiness that leads to losses. Now, maybe the Browns prove me wrong and they rip off 7 in a row. Then we'll all be, talking Super Bowl. But at this point, it looks systemic to me, and that is a problem.
Next September, opening day, is Freddie Kitchens the coach of the Cleveland Browns?
Ask me after the Denver game.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right.
I'm serious. You got to beat the Broncos. And not only that, you can't lose badly to the Broncos. If they somehow, some way look bad in a loss, I mean, it'd be awful enough that you lose, but if you lose and you lose without your dignity, then you got to wonder, all right, what is Freddie Kitchens' future? But I'll say right now, he remains the coach of this team beginning of next year.
So you're looking at the remaining 9 games, and you're looking for what, 7-2?
At a minimum 6-3. That gets you to what, 8-8? All right. Well, let me upgrade that. Minimum 7-2. If you want to have any thought about a postseason, you have to go 7-2.
All right. So,
and that's not even guaranteed. If you go 7-2.
You're talking about 7-2. Can the Browns? If they're going to make the playoffs, they're going to have to beat out Baltimore. I don't think there's any other pathway to do that. They have to beat out Baltimore as the champ of the AFC North.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think of the wildcard candidates. In the AFC, you're right. I think the best path is going to be the division.
From the East, there's probably Buffalo will finish second in that division, right?
Yeah, and that's it.
Okay.
Buffalo in the North, it's going to be. Let's say if you're thinking Cleveland's going to win the wild card, then you're eliminating Pittsburgh. So that's not a factor. In the East, you'd have to deal with Buffalo. In the North, you wouldn't be dealing with anybody. In the South, you're dealing with it's Colts, Texans. So one of those two's going to the playoffs as a wild card. The other one's winning the division.
No.
Don't forget about the Jaguars.
And don't forget about Indianapolis.
Right. The Colts, the Texans, and the Jaguars are all better than Cleveland right now. And then the AFC West, luckily the Chargers are down. Who's escaping me as the leader of the AFC West?
Kansas City.
Kansas City's going to win that division. Is Oakland going to be there? Yeah, you're right. It is the division that you're going to have to win, I think, to get there.
So is that doable? You said 7-2 would be acceptable.
It's a bare minimum. I'm just talking about rescuing
jobs.
Dignity from a season. Yeah, I'm not even thinking playoffs, but. Yeah. If you get the 7 of the last 9, you get to 9-7. Of course, one of the 7 has to be another win over the Ravens.
Right.
All right. Is it possible you win the division at 9-7? I suppose. It could happen.
Depends on Baltimore.
But you're asking the Ravens to lose a lot of games down the stretch.
All right, the D-Man Dennis Manoloff with us. You can catch him next on WTAM. That'll be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Friday. When we come back, we've got a new feature, D-Man. We'll check that out when we get back. More sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement, it ruined the carpeting, the smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. You can catch the live racing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Post time 6 p.m. Then you've got 6:40 for the weekend on Friday and Saturday. Got plenty of ways to win money, of course, at Northfield Park, and it includes the weekly Sunday contest featuring Belmont. Top prize $500 each week, and it's free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. Doug Maurice will join us Monday from the Plain Dealer and cleveland.com. And new feature tonight, a couple of Pittsburgh Steelers got into trouble with the law, so we initiate our sports courts report. Featuring tonight the Pittsburgh Steelers, Anthony Chickalo. Charges were dropped for domestic dispute between him and his girlfriend. Benny Snell, not to be confused with Benny Hill. Benny had some drug charges from a traffic stop in August. So that's our sports courts report for today, Thursday night. All right, D-Man. Your thoughts on the Cleveland Indians and Francisco Lindor? Three options as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the report came out that the Dodgers would be interested. No surprise, the Dodgers were interested in acquiring Kluber or Bauer in the offseason, and the Indians backed away and said no. And I fully expect that to be the case again this offseason. I don't think that any team that inquires about Lindor is going to put a package together that's anywhere close to what the Cleveland Indians think is necessary. So,
all right, so what if they get overwhelmed? What if the Indians get overwhelmed?
Well, I mean, if you're overwhelmed, you go ahead and make the move. I mean, you be proactive about it. But you better be dang sure that the haul you're getting back is a franchise-altering haul.
Well, if you're talking about the Dodgers, they don't want it 2 or 3 years from now. They want it today. All right, I mean, the beginning of this season.
Listen, if I'm the Indians and the Dodgers say, we want Lindor, what do you want? I'd say, well, let's start with Clay Bellinger. See what they say. Now, would they say no? I'm betting you the Indians asked about Bellinger when the Dodgers inquired about Kluber or Bauer.
You're not talking about just Bellinger. You're talking about Bellinger to be included in a package.
Why am I saying Clay?
No, that's who you want, Cody but Bellinger. You don't just want it even.
Why am I mixing them up? It's Clay Bellinger, right? Is it Cody? Why am I mixing up Clay and Cody? Bellinger, the MVP candidate. Why am I mixing up his name?
Now you got me so mixed up I don't know it either.
Cody, I remember Cody Allen, Chad Allen. Anyway, I'm sorry, what were you saying, Les?
Bellinger, you're not talking even up. You're talking about Bellinger as the feature guy in there, but you got to throw in some top prospects.
Oh, right. I'm saying I start the discussion with Bellinger, and presumably the Dodgers say, no, we want to keep our MVP candidate. Fine. Okay, then we're not making the deal. But I'm not going to let you get Lindor for a bunch of stud AA guys I want some guys I can plug into my major league lineup in 2020 who are under my control for multiple years and who are going to be really good.
You want Jock Peterson as part of it?
He's part of it. I mean, he's not the centerpiece by any means, but he's part of it, yeah. I mean, this would need to be a massive haul, and that's why ultimately I don't think it's going to happen.
No, but the pressure has to be on the Dodgers if they want to make a deal, because they've come close and haven't closed the deal on winning the championship.
Yeah, that's true. And I like the Indians' spot here. 2 years of control left.
Right.
They don't have to do anything.
Now, here's my thought on that. The audience has heard this before, so they're going to hear it again. The division next year is going to be basically no different than it was this year. Minnesota's going to be, they're going to lose some pitchers to free agency. Cleveland, as is, should be able to still beat Minnesota this time around. And if so, why would you argue with that? Why would you even touch that? If I could tell you they'll be in and win the division by 5 games without trading Lindor, wouldn't you want to go for that?
Yes, but I'm going to hold off on saying the Indians are automatically going to dethrone the Twins. Twins just picked up Cruz's option at $12 million, an absolute steal for next year. They're going to bring back the bulk of their offense. Yes, they have pitching issues, question marks with free agents such as Odorizzi, but I think the Twins have to be respected. When you win 101 games in the regular season, I know they got trucked by the Yankees. No shock, because the Yankees own them. But when you win 101 games in the regular season and you bring back a large reason why you won 100 games, which is the offense, I have to respect you to where I'm not going to automatically say this Cleveland Indians team is going to overtake the Twins.
Which, by the way, won 93 with more injuries than you can ever imagine.
Yeah, okay, but still, you're trying to topple a team that won 101 games, and that's not going to be easy to do. In other words, this is what I'm saying. You can't just say, if everybody's healthy, we're going to be fine. You got to import some talent. At least one infielder who can play the third or second, and then Ramirez does the other, and at least one outfielder. You can't,
who can play every day.
Yes, because the Indians right now have a bunch of platoon guys, a bunch of fourth outfielders, and a guy they hope is a regular in Oscar Mercado. You need a corner outfielder who is an everyday player with a resume.
Would you take Puig if nobody else wants him for big dollars?
I don't think Francona would.
Oh, yeah, I don't either.
I mean, I know Francona publicly would say, oh, no, I'm fine. But honestly, Puig as a full-year guy is a whole lot different than
under
Puig
contract
as a
while.
2-month guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think when he forgot to run the ball out on the bouncer back to the pitcher, I think that was the final straw. All right, that'll do it for us. The D-Man can be heard on 1100. That's, of course, WTAM. That'll be tomorrow night starting at 7. I'll see you in the morning. Well, you'll see me or you'll hear me in the morning on 92.3 The Fan from 10 until 2. Monday night, Doug Lesmerises joins us from cleveland.com and The Plain Dealer. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.